Have you heard about the car bomb in Russia that was attempting to hit Alexander Dugin, but ended up getting his daughter Daria?
Oh yeah, that's been all over social media. It's it
It's terrible.
really is. I mean, it's war, right?
No, it's not war. This is the act of cowardly criminals. War is you have the sides marching towards each other, even if they're using guerrilla tactics. You're not targeting the regular civilian population in the places that are not war zones. This was in the middle of a city that is not engulfed in war, and they planted a car bomb, which we all know is not a tool of war; it's a tool of assassination, and messed up and blew up and killed the daughter instead of the actual target.
Well, I think you just went to the present and forgot the last couple of weeks, months. It's been so long now. It's 6 months now because let's be clear, when Russia decided they were going to invade Ukraine. Ukraine was saying, we want no part in this. When they started launching their bombs, they were killing innocent civilians too. So, this is what I mean when I say it's messy. How many hundreds or thousands of innocent women and children have they killed as well? Like, there is no one coming out of this without blood and just absolute crap all around them. So, is this a bad thing? Sure. Is war a bad thing? Sure. You launch or start a war or support it, and then people are going to actually retaliate. This is why war is so, I mean, for like just disgusting overall, because it's a goddamn mess. Like there is no good way to look on this, but you obviously don't think that in some place you're going to launch a war, your country's going to start a war against somebody, and then you're going to come out and in support of said war, and there'll be no consequence whether they like it or not. That's just unrealistic. People are going to want to retaliate. We say that all the time. That's why war needs to go away, and we need to use our words, because this, while it's horrible, should have been expected.
No, this is not waging war. This was an assassination. This is a cowardly act, and the end result, which is why we never respect these cowardly acts, is that it killed the wrong person. They went after a 29-year-old woman who's this man's daughter, and just blew her up. Meanwhile, their actual target is still there, free to roam and support the war and whatever else he was doing. But all of that didn't deserve a car bomb. If you want to fight back in a war, you fight back with war means, right? I wouldn't have second guessed it if it was some missile that went off course that they were trying to launch towards an actual military target, because those types of things happen. But this was a deliberately planted car bomb, and whoever planted it most likely was watching it just to make sure it went off without a hitch. That person saw that it wasn't his target going into the car, chose to detonate the bomb anyways, and kill someone that wasn't even involved.
Well,
So
to be clear, we don't know if it was manually detonated. It could have just been on, uh, who knows
I don't know,
how.
even if it was manually
But here's the
detonated
thing:
or not.
what we do know is that it was put in Alexander's car. So he was the target.
Yes, but they switch cars.
He switched cars with her,
But they
but
do, but they do that often, and whoever was the one planting the bomb would have known this.
well, you don't. You're thinking that, but you're not sure of that. We don't know. Maybe he was the target,
I'm
and that
100%
was the day
sure.
they switched the car. But here's the thing: this is like saying, "Oh yeah, it's so cowardly to do this," but when we drop a drone strike on one person in a community, and we end up bombing a civilian in the area, this happens. This is a part of war. It's not pretty because war isn't pretty, but
This
this does happen.
is not part of war. That's the whole thing. For example, when there's the defectors from Russia and they go to the UK, because that's where a lot of them go, and that's where a lot of them die, because the UK is unable to protect anybody because they have,
True.
wide open borders and they just let anybody
Absolutely.
in there. So what ends up happening is when they get killed with the neurotoxin, or they get killed with the radioactive powder in the food, or they get killed in any of the other ways that the assassins from Russia do it, everybody speaks out against it, right? They all decry the actions and voice their objections and so on and so forth. And that's exactly what this is. A car bomb is no different than using the neurotoxin. It's no different than using the polonium or whatever the radioactive material was that they used to put in the food. It's a cowardly act. It's an assassination. It has nothing to do with war. It's not even anything via collateral damage or attrition. It's just a full-blown murder. They just went there, planted a bomb, and it's not a military bomb. You're not trying to take out like a military base or anything. You were just trying to take out some political person who's not even an architect of the war or a general or anything. He's just a civilian, and they got his daughter instead. And hopefully, I'm really hoping that they catch whoever did this, and whoever, if they weren't in charge of the whole thing, whoever sent them to go on this particular mission, and as many people as they need to catch that all had a hand in this assassination. This is ridiculous. You can't have that. How is anybody supposed to feel comfortable getting into their car when you got these losers going around planting bombs?
Listen, it's a war right now, and no one should feel comfortable getting into anywhere. As far as I'm concerned, they're cowards on both sides. The coward that went in and started attacking people that didn't even want the war and wasn't doing anything to them. The coward that blew up the car. And if you look on it, they're both countries, Russians and Ukrainians. So Russia is filled with Ukrainians. Ukraine's filled with Russians. At the end of the day, it's just pointless. It's all pointless. So do I expect to see the worst of people come out right now? Yes. Did I expect to see people comfortable in their homes in the US celebrating this? I didn't expect to see that, but I should have expected to see that, if we're being honest, because now everyone's looking on this as sport. But yes, these are things that do happen in war. And I mean, you can't go and bomb a country and not expect them, as a much smaller country with a lot less defense, and then expect them to not do guerrilla tactics or small scale fighting. This is what they're doing. And I mean, it sucks, but
No, guerrilla tactics,
this is
small
what it
scale
is.
fighting is fine in the war zone, right? That's the whole reason why America is so comfortable going to war all across the world, because they don't hit us back. They keep everything contained over there. But that's the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to have the, whoever is the other opponent. It doesn't matter. Some people will say, "Oh, as Ukraine is the victim." Neither side is the victim. Both have corrupt governments. We even have our fingers in Ukraine, and we're pulling that puppet in different ways. We're sending them weapons. So, it's that is the designated war zone. That is where the war should be fought. If they want to take the war further into Russian territory, that is actually acceptable, but they have to do it by war means. This is not that. This is an assassin that is sent in there targeting a specific person, which is bad enough, missing that person and getting a 29-year-old woman instead that had nothing to do with it. So it's terrible by every possible measure.